There exists a moment in automotive history when a manufacturer stops asking for permission and simply takes what it believes it deserves. The 2027 Bentley Bentayga represents precisely that moment. This is not an evolutionary step forward. This is not a gentle refinement of an already exceptional formula. This is Bentley declaring absolute supremacy in the ultra-luxury SUV segment with such overwhelming force that competitors have been left scrambling to understand what just happened. And here is what makes this particularly fascinating. Bentley has engineered something into this vehicle that fundamentally changes the equation of what wealthy buyers expect from a six-figure SUV, and we will reveal exactly what that is in just a few minutes. But first, let us establish the context. The ultra-luxury SUV market has become a battleground where British heritage clashes with German precision, where Italian flair confronts American excess. Every manufacturer with aspirations of serving the truly affluent has planted their flag in this territory. Yet in 2027, Bentley has arrived with something that does not merely compete. It dominates, without apology, without compromise, without mercy. The question that serious automotive enthusiasts and prospective buyers are asking is simple. How does a manufacturer with deep roots in grand touring coupes and racing pedigree create an SUV that makes vehicles costing £300,000 seem like reasonable alternatives suddenly appear inadequate? The answer lies in understanding that Bentley never actually pivoted to SUVs. They simply applied a century of uncompromising standards to a different form factor. Walk into any Bentley showroom in München, London, Milan, or Greenwich, and you will find sales consultants who speak a different language than those selling merely expensive vehicles. They do not discuss monthly payments. They explore legacy. They do not present specifications. They reveal possibilities. And when they present the 2027 Bentayga, they do so with the confidence of individuals who understand they are offering something that exists in a category increasingly isolated from conventional automotive commerce. Consider the numbers first, because they establish the foundation upon which everything else is built. The new W12 powertrain, potentially the final iteration of this magnificent 12-cylinder configuration before electrification becomes mandatory, produces 650 brake horsepower. That figure alone tells you nothing. It is the manner in which that power is deployed that separates pretenders from the authentic article. 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.4 seconds. Not particularly remarkable by supercar standards, you might think. Except this is a vehicle weighing 2.5 tons, wrapped in Connolly leather and burr walnut, carrying 4 adults in conditions of supreme comfort while simultaneously capable of attacking Alpine passes with a ferocity that would shame dedicated sports cars. The torque figure is where the conversation becomes interesting. 664 pound-feet available from just 1,500 revolutions per minute, delivered through an 8-speed dual-clutch transmission that Bentley has refined to the point where gear changes occur with such smoothness that passengers remain unaware unless they are specifically monitoring the tachometer. This is not brute force. This is calibrated violence, delivered with silk gloves. But here is what the specification sheets cannot convey. The 2027 Bentayga features an entirely new active suspension system that Bentley has developed over 7 years of testing across 4 continents. 48-volt electrical architecture powers electromagnetic dampers that scan the road surface 1,000 times per second, making adjustments so rapidly that the vehicle essentially predicts imperfections before the wheels encounter them. Drive this vehicle over the same degraded motorway surface that would have passengers in a conventional luxury SUV reaching for the grab handles, and the Bentayga simply glides, absorbing irregularities with a composure that seems to defy physics. The British have always understood that true luxury is not about ostentation. It is about insulation from the unpleasantness of the world. The 2027 Bentayga takes this philosophy and engineers it into every system. The cabin operates at 62 decibels at motorway speeds. To provide context, that is quieter than most luxury sedans while stationary. Bentley has achieved this through a combination of acoustic laminated glass measuring 9 mm thick, triple-sealed door frames, and active noise cancellation that monitors exterior sound and generates precise inverse frequencies to eliminate intrusion. The result is a mobile sanctuary where business calls can be conducted, negotiations finalized, or simply where one can exist in contemplative silence while traversing continents. Now we arrive at the element that truly separates the Bentayga from every competitor. Bentley has introduced what they term the Mulliner Bespoke Atmospheric System. This is not climate control. This is environmental orchestration. The system monitors not just temperature and humidity, but air quality, pollen count, pollution levels, and even the position of the sun relative to each passenger. It then creates individual microclimates for each seating position, adjusted in real time, while simultaneously ionizing and purifying the air to hospital-grade standards. But here is the remarkable part. The system incorporates scent diffusion technology that allows owners to commission custom fragrances from the same perfume houses that create scents for Mayfair boutiques and Parisian haute couture houses. Your Bentayga does not just transport you. It envelops you in an olfactory environment that is as unique to your vehicle as the specific hide selection and veneer pattern. This brings us to craftsmanship, and this is where the conversation transcends mere automotive discussion and enters the realm of applied art. Each 2027 Bentayga requires approximately 400 hours of hand finishing at the crew facility. Not assembly. Finishing. The difference is profound. 17 master craftspeople touch each vehicle during its construction, and their expertise represents cumulative centuries of specialized knowledge. The leather alone tells a story that should humble anyone who believes luxury can be mass-produced. Bentley sources hides exclusively from Northern European cattle raised in controlled environments. Why does this matter? Because cattle in warmer climates suffer from insect bites that scar the hide. Because barbed wire fencing creates imperfections. Because Bentley requires perfection. Each hide is inspected across every square centimeter, and fewer than 30% pass the initial assessment. Those that do are then hand-cut by pattern specialists who understand grain direction, natural tension, and how the leather will age over decades of use. The seats in a Bentayga require 14 hides, hand-selected to ensure color and texture consistency. The stitching, all of it, is performed by artisans who have trained for years specifically in this craft. We are discussing 60,000 individual stitches per vehicle, each one executed with tension and spacing that varies by less than half a millimeter. The wood presents an even more fascinating study in uncompromising standards. Bentley offers 17 different veneer options as standard, but this barely scratches the surface of what is possible through the Mulliner division. The walnut that most buyers select comes from trees that have grown for 80 to 100 years, because younger trees lack the density and figure that creates the deep, lustrous finish Bentley demands. The veneers are book-matched, which means consecutive leaves are opened like pages in a book to create perfect mirror symmetry across the dashboard and door cappings. A single imperfection, a knot in the wrong location, a grain pattern that does not flow correctly, and the entire piece is rejected. But Bentley goes further. For 2027, they have introduced a process called thermal modification, borrowed from high-end furniture making, that stabilizes the wood at a molecular level. This eliminates the expansion and contraction that occurs with humidity and temperature changes, ensuring that the perfect alignment achieved during assembly remains perfect for the lifetime of the vehicle. The finish applied to this wood involves 9 layers of lacquer, each hand-sanded between applications, creating a depth and clarity that makes the veneer appear three-dimensional. The organ stops, those small metal controls that adjust the air vents, are individually machined from solid aluminum and then knurled by hand. This is a detail that perhaps 99% of owners will never consciously notice, yet it represents the philosophy that permeates every decision. If Bentley can see it, touch it, or interact with it, it must be executed to a standard that borders on obsessive. The metal speaker grills are not pressed or stamped. They are milled from solid billet and hand-polished. The same process used for the finest Swiss watch cases. The tread plates are not merely engraved, but hand-chased, a metalworking technique dating back centuries, creating depth and shadow that changes with viewing angle. This obsession with material quality extends into areas that remain hidden. The padding beneath the carpets is not foam but natural wool felt, sourced from British sheep because it provides superior sound deadening and feels more substantial when walking on it. The carpet itself is wilt and weave, the same construction method used in royal residences and historic estates. Even the headlining, that expanse of material covering the roof interior, is not simply glued in place, but hand-stretched and secured using techniques that ensure it will never sag or separate, regardless of climate or age. Technology integration presents a particular challenge for heritage luxury brands. How does one incorporate cutting-edge digital systems without compromising the timeless aesthetic that defines the brand? Bentley has solved this through what they call the invisible technology approach. The 2027 Bentayga features digital displays totaling 18 inches across the instrument panel. Yet when the vehicle is shut down, they disappear completely behind what appears to be engine-turned aluminum, but is actually ultra-high-resolution display technology. Start the vehicle, and the screens illuminate with graphics that mimic traditional Bentley instrumentation, while providing every conceivable piece of information a driver might require. The infotainment system runs on a bespoke operating system that Bentley developed in collaboration with specialists from the aerospace industry, because consumer-grade automotive systems simply could not deliver the response times and stability that Bentley demanded. Voice recognition works in 17 languages with dialects, understanding natural speech patterns rather than requiring specific commands. The navigation system does not simply plot routes but considers factors like road surface quality, scenic value, and even the position of the sun relative to your direction of travel, because driving into low sun is unpleasant, and the Bentayga seeks to eliminate all unpleasantness. The driver assistance systems represent another area where Bentley has refused to accept industry-standard solutions. The adaptive cruise control does not just maintain distance from vehicles ahead but monitors their behavior patterns, learning to predict when a vehicle might change lanes or when traffic flow is about to change, adjusting speed preemptively rather than reactively. The lane-keeping system uses a combination of cameras and radar to create a three-dimensional map of the road ahead, gentle enough that most drivers never realize it is operating, yet capable of preventing disaster if distraction or drowsiness occurs. But Bentley understands that their customers want technology to enhance the experience, not dominate it. Every system can be configured, adjusted, or completely disabled according to preference. The philosophy is simple. Technology should serve the driver, not dictate to them. This extends to the connectivity systems, which integrate with smartphones, tablets, and laptops seamlessly, yet can be completely isolated if one wishes to truly disconnect during a journey. Performance is not simply about straight-line acceleration, though the Bentayga provides that in abundance. It is about the manner in which the vehicle responds to inputs, the communication between driver and machine, the confidence it instills when being driven with enthusiasm. The steering ratio has been recalibrated for 2027, quickening response without sacrificing the weighted, progressive feel that Bentley drivers expect. The brake system, massive 6-piston calipers gripping carbon ceramic discs, measuring 440 mm front and 400 rear, provides stopping power that seems impossible for a vehicle of this mass, yet operates with such smoothness that passengers remain unaware of the forces being generated. The all-wheel drive system, now in its third generation, can vector torque, not just front to rear, but side to side, actively rotating the vehicle through corners, making the Bentayga feel substantially smaller and more agile than its dimensions suggest. Engage the sport mode and the exhaust valves open, the suspension firms, the transmission holds gears longer, and the Bentayga transforms from genteel grand tourer to something approaching a performance vehicle, albeit one that still cossets its occupants in supreme comfort. Here is something that will surprise those unfamiliar with the segment. The 2027 Bentayga is genuinely capable off-road, not in the sense of crawling over rocks or fording rivers, though it can accomplish both, but in the ability to transport occupants across unmaintained roads, through winter conditions, across desert tracks, without compromising comfort or safety. The adjustable air suspension can raise the vehicle by 85 mm, providing ground clearance that exceeds most dedicated off-road vehicles. The various terrain modes adjust throttle response, transmission behavior, and stability control parameters to optimize traction and control across sand, snow, mud, and gravel. But let us address the question that lingers in the minds of serious buyers. Why choose the Bentayga when competitors offer similar capabilities, similar luxury, sometimes at lower prices? The answer is not simple, because the decision to purchase at this level is never purely rational. It is about provenance. It is about the weight of history. It is about being part of a continuum that stretches back to 1919, when Walter Owen Bentley founded the company with a singular vision of creating vehicles that were fast, powerful, and luxurious in equal measure. The Bentley owner is not purchasing transportation. They are acquiring a relationship with a manufacturer that treats each customer as an individual with specific needs and desires. The Mulliner Bespoke division exists solely to realize visions that standard configurators cannot accommodate. Want the leather in your Bentayga to match a specific handbag? Mulliner will make it happen. Prefer a veneer created from wood sourced from your family estate? Bring samples. Desire a paint color that does not exist in any catalog? Provide a reference, and Mulliner will formulate it, then name it after you. This level of personalization extends to functional elements as well. One client specified that the controls for the rear sunshades must be positioned differently because his children found the standard location inconvenient. Bentley redesigned the control layout for his vehicle alone. Another client requested that the refrigerated compartment be reconfigured to hold specific bottles of wine from his vineyard. Bentley created custom cradles and modified the temperature controls specifically for those bottles. This is not customer service. This is partnership in the creation of something unique. The ownership experience continues long after delivery. Bentley provides concierge services that can arrange everything from priority restaurant reservations in any major city to coordinating service appointments to coincide with business travel. The service network spans continents, and technicians receive training that rivals that of aerospace engineers. Every service is documented, photographed, and added to the vehicle's permanent history file, creating a provenance record that enhances long-term value. Speaking of value, let us confront the investment aspect directly. The 2027 Bentayga starts at approximately £250,000, and that is merely the beginning. Most clients configure vehicles that exceed £300,000, sometimes substantially so, depending on the extent of bespoke work. Is this justifiable? For individuals who have reached a certain level of success, the question is irrelevant. The Bentayga represents approximately the same percentage of net worth as a well-equipped family sedan does for upper-middle-class buyers. The difference is what that expenditure secures. A Bentayga will depreciate, certainly, but at rates that are substantially lower than conventional luxury vehicles, particularly limited editions or extensively customized examples. More importantly, it provides intangible returns that financial analysis cannot capture. The confidence that comes from piloting a vehicle that commands respect on any road in any country. The pleasure of experiencing engineering and craftsmanship that represents the pinnacle of what humans can achieve. The satisfaction of owning something that will quite likely outlast you, potentially becoming a cherished possession passed to the next generation. The 2027 model year brings specific updates that make this iteration particularly significant. Bentley has confirmed that this represents the final development of the pure combustion V12 powertrain. Future iterations will incorporate hybrid technology, and while those systems will undoubtedly be excellent, they will be different. For purists, for collectors, for those who appreciate internal combustion engines as the magnificent machines they are, the 2027 Bentayga represents the ultimate expression of a technology that has defined automotive excellence for over a century. Additionally, Bentley has introduced a new color palette for 2027, 17 new exterior finishes, developed specifically to complement modern architecture and contemporary design trends. These are not simple paints, but multi-stage processes involving base coats, metallic particles of varying sizes, and clear coats that create depth and complexity. Certain finishes require 37 separate applications. The result is color that appears to shift and change with light and viewing angle, creating visual interest that static finishes cannot achieve. The interior color combinations have expanded as well, moving beyond traditional tans and blacks to include shades that Bentley describes as forward-looking while remaining timeless. Sophisticated grays, deep blues, and even carefully judged greens that reference British racing heritage without appearing garish. Each hide color requires months of development to ensure it ages gracefully, because Bentley understands that their vehicles are not fashion items subject to annual obsolescence, but rather long-term companions that should improve with age and use. Let us consider the competitive landscape honestly. Rolls-Royce offers the Cullinan, a vehicle of immense presence and undeniable luxury. Yet it lacks the sporting character that makes the Bentayga such a complete package. The Range Rover, particularly in SV specification, provides excellent capability and British heritage, but cannot match the Bentley's performance or the exclusivity of its craftsmanship. The Lamborghini Urus brings Italian flair and supercar performance, but sacrifices comfort and refinement in the pursuit of pure speed. The Mercedes-Maybach GLS provides Germanic precision in technology, but feels mass-produced compared to the bespoke nature of Bentley's approach. The 2027 Bentayga exists in the precise center of a Venn diagram where performance, luxury, craftsmanship, heritage, and exclusivity all overlap. No competitor occupies this exact position. Some come close in one area or another, but none achieve the totality of the Bentayga's proposition. Consider the experience of ownership from a practical perspective. You approach the vehicle, and LED puddle lamps illuminate the ground, projecting the Bentley Wings logo. The door handles, sensing your key fob, present themselves electrically. Open the door, and interior lighting gradually illuminates, revealing the cabin in stages like a carefully choreographed theatrical production. Settle into the seat, which has memorized your exact preference for position and support, and immediately the steering column adjusts, the mirrors angle themselves, the climate control sets your preferred temperature, and the infotainment system displays your most recent destinations. Touch the start button, and the DOE12 awakens with a muted rumble that announces its presence without shouting. The digital instruments sweep through their startup sequence, settling into the classic Bentley gauge design that has defined the brand for decades, yet rendered with modern crispness. Select drive, and the transmission engages with mechanical precision that you feel more than hear, a subtle click that confirms readiness. Pull away, and the first thing you notice is visibility. The Bentayga provides commanding sightlines in all directions, with narrow pillars and large glazing areas that make maneuvering this substantial vehicle remarkably easy. The steering weight is perfectly judged, light enough for parking maneuvers, weighty enough to communicate road surface and grip levels when traveling quickly. The ride quality immediately announces that this is something special, absorbing irregularities that would unsettle lesser vehicles, yet maintaining absolute body control through corners. Press the accelerator beyond the initial gentle response, and the DOE12 delivers thrust that seems disproportionate to the surroundings. You are not in a sports car with racing seats and carbon fiber everywhere. You are surrounded by wood and leather and comfort, yet the acceleration would embarrass dedicated performance vehicles. The transmission anticipates your needs, downshifting smoothly when you require more power, holding gears when you are enjoying the engine's capabilities, always providing the correct ratio for the circumstances. The brakes inspire immediate confidence, providing progressive, powerful stopping capability with pedal feel that allows precise modulation. The all-wheel drive system distributes power so effectively that you exploit the available performance with complete security, knowing that traction is essentially unlimited under normal conditions. Even in wet weather, even on less than perfect surfaces, the Bentayga simply grips and goes, making you appear to be a better driver than perhaps you are. This is the essential magic of the Bentayga. It makes everything easy while making you feel capable. It provides enormous performance while maintaining complete civility. It offers genuine off-road ability while looking entirely appropriate, arriving at the most exclusive establishments. It can transport 5 adults and their luggage across continents in supreme comfort, then attack a mountain road with enthusiasm that would do credit to a sports car. The 2027 Bentley Bentayga does not dominate the ultra-luxury SUV segment through a single brilliant feature or specification. It dominates through the cumulative effect of 10,000 decisions, each made with uncompromising standards, each executed to a level that most manufacturers would consider unnecessary, each contributing to a totality that elevates the vehicle beyond the realm of mere transportation into something approaching automotive art. When you purchase a Bentayga, you are not just buying the finest ultra-luxury SUV currently available.